You're 23, sitting in a parked car outside a jewelry store you've never been inside. Engine running, hands steady on the wheel, even though your heart is doing something it's never done before. 3 months ago, you were delivering pizzas for minimum wage. Tonight, you're the reason 4 men get out of this building alive, or don't. It started small. A guy named Marco tipped well, always cash, always vague about what he did. One night your car broke down outside his usual spot, and instead of walking away, he offered you a ride and a job. You're fast. You don't panic. That's rare. You told yourself it was just driving. Nobody said Mafia. Nobody had to. The first job was nothing. Drive 2 guys to a warehouse. Wait, drive them back. $5,000 for 90 minutes of sitting in a car. You didn't ask what was in the bags. You told yourself that not asking made you innocent. By the third job, you had a nickname, Ghost, because you'd never once gotten pulled over, never once left a trace. By the fifth, you weren't driving a beat-up sedan anymore. You were driving cars registered to names that didn't exist, with plates that changed depending on the night. The money changed everything fast. Rent stopped being a countdown. You bought your mother a car she cried over. But every gift came with a silence you couldn't explain, where the money actually came from, what the job actually was, why Marco's voice dropped an octave whenever he said clean job versus just job. One night, waiting outside a building with the engine idling, you hear 3 sounds through the wall that you will never be able to unhear. Nobody says anything when they get back in the car. You just drive. Fast, smooth, invisible. The only job you're actually good at. That's the night something in you splits in half. You start doing the math you've been avoiding. The job isn't robbery anymore. Hasn't been for weeks. You're not delivering pizza. You're not even delivering bags. You're delivering people to places and driving different people away. You try to quit. Marco just smiles, the kind of smile that isn't really a smile. Ghost doesn't retire. Ghost just goes quiet. One way or another. You understand exactly what he means without him needing to say it twice. You go home that night and sit in your car in your own driveway for 2 hours, engine off, hands still shaking from adrenaline that has nowhere left to go. You realize you didn't become a criminal in one big decision. You became one in 100 small ones, each too small to say no to on its own. Here's the part nobody warns you about. The way out isn't dramatic. There's no big shootout, no cinematic escape. It's a phone call to a detective's tip line at 2 a.m., voice disguised, giving up an address and nothing else. Enough to get Marco's operation shut down without your name ever entering a single file. You drive one last job. Not for Marco, for yourself. You drive straight to a bus station 3 states away, leave the car running with the keys inside for whoever finds it, and buy a one-way ticket with cash that still doesn't quite feel like it's really yours. You start over somewhere nobody knows the nickname Ghost. Minimum wage again. Smaller apartment. No car that isn't registered in your actual name. And somehow, for the first time in a year, you sleep through the entire night. People think the scariest part of that life was the danger. It wasn't. The scariest part was how normal it started to feel. How easily, I'm just driving, became a life you didn't recognize in the mirror. Every wrong road starts with a right that felt small enough to ignore. If you've ever said yes to something small, telling yourself it didn't count, you already know how this story goes. Drop a heart if you get it, and subscribe for more true-to-life POV stories.